The cameras in Russia had been capturing things so bizarre, so unbelievable, that even scientists were still debating them. Stay tuned. Boriska Kiprianovich, often called Boriska, attracted worldwide attention with his claims of a past life on Mars. Born on January 11, 1996, in Russia's Volgograd region, Boriska showed unusual abilities from infancy. His mother, a medical professional, noted that he could focus his eyes shortly after birth, spoke simple words by 4 months, formed sentences by 8 months, and by 1.5 years old was reading, drawing, and painting. At the age of 7, during a family camping trip, Boriska began sharing detailed accounts of a Martian civilization. He described it as technologically advanced but destroyed by nuclear conflict. According to him, he was a Martian pilot who traveled to ancient Egypt and interacted with the Lemurian civilization. He claimed Martians are about 7 feet tall, stop aging after 35 years, and now live underground, breathing carbon dioxide. Boriska believed his mission on Earth was to warn humanity about the dangers of nuclear war, which he said once ended life on Mars. He also claimed the Great Sphinx of Giza holds a secret mechanism behind its ear, linked to humanity's future, though he could not recall all details. His story sparked global fascination and skepticism. Some viewed him as a prodigy, others as imaginative. Scientists pointed to the lack of evidence, yet his accounts gained wide media coverage and continue to stir debate. In recent years, Boriska has remained out of the public eye, but his story still circulates online, fueling ongoing curiosity. But Boriska wasn't the only strange discovery to emerge from Russia's vast lands. What if I told you that years later, deep in Siberia, miners would stumble upon a creature that many believed to be a true monster? In 2016, miners at the Udakny diamond mine in Russia's Sakha Republic, also known as Yakutia, uncovered a mysterious mummified creature, quickly dubbed the monster mummy. They found buried in the diamond-rich sands, the specimen gained attention for its unusual appearance and remarkable preservation. The creature featured a long, slender body, an elongated snout, and sharp teeth. Even more striking, its fur and soft tissues remained intact, thanks to the region's permafrost. The discovery rapidly spread across media platforms, prompting widespread speculation about its origins. Experts were soon brought in to examine the mummy. After thorough analysis, scientists identified it as a marten, a small carnivorous mammal related to weasels and sables, native to Siberia. The animal's physical features and the conditions of its discovery closely matched those typical of martens in the region. What made the find significant was not just its appearance, but its state of preservation. The mummified marten offered rare insights into the region's wildlife and demonstrated how Siberia's permafrost can naturally preserve biological specimens for extended periods. While initial reactions were fueled by mystery and speculation, scientific analysis confirmed the creature was a well-preserved, naturally mummified animal, offering a glimpse into the ecological past of Siberia. Now, you might think that's where the mystery ends, but what if I told you that only a few years later, Mexico would shock the world by putting what they claimed were alien bodies on public display? Stay tuned. In September of 2023, Mexico's Congress drew worldwide attention when 2 alleged non-human mummified bodies were presented during a formal session. The event, led by journalist and UFO researcher Jaime Maussan, quickly fueled public fascination and scientific skepticism. On September 12, during Mexico's first congressional hearing on unidentified aerial phenomena, Maussan unveiled 2 glass-encased specimens, claiming they were over 1,000 years old and discovered in Cusco, Peru. He testified under oath that nearly 1/3 of their DNA was unknown, suggesting they might not be part of Earth's evolutionary history. Subsequent examinations by Mexican doctors confirmed that each specimen was a complete skeleton, not assembled from different parts. Still, doubts remained. Many recalled Moson's earlier claim in 2015, when a supposed alien mummy turned out to be the remains of a human child. The National Autonomous University of Mexico confirmed they performed carbon-14 dating but distanced themselves from extraterrestrial claims. Meanwhile, Peru launched an investigation into the removal and authenticity of the remains. Archaeologist Flavio Estrada suggested the specimens were likely crafted using human and animal bones. Later, forensic expert Dr. José de Jesus Zalspanites reported finding a metal implant in one of the bodies, adding to the mystery. However, most researchers now agree the specimens are likely artificial creations, reminding the world of the importance of scientific rigor when extraordinary claims arise. As incredible as those alien bodies were, Russia had its own unsolved space-related enigma. A massive, mysterious metal fragment lying silently in a Siberian forest. What could it possibly be? Find out it. In March of 2012, the quiet village of Otradnenskoye in Novosibirsk Oblast, Siberia, became the focus of attention after locals discovered a strange metallic object in a nearby forest. On March 18th, villagers came across a large cylindrical fragment, capped with a ridged dome, roughly the size of a Volkswagen Beetle and weighing about 200 kilograms, or 440 pounds. They transported it back to the village using a trailer and quickly notified the authorities. Upon inspection, officials noted the object was partly made of titanium, a metal often used in aerospace engineering. Radiation tests confirmed there was no threat. However, the mystery deepened when Roscosmos, the Russian space agency, stated that the object did not match any known space equipment and called for further analysis. Adding to the uncertainty, Nick Johnson, head of NASA's Orbital Debris Office at the time, remarked that the fragment did not resemble parts of any known spacecraft or rocket, emphasizing the need for more information. Speculation spread fast. Some villagers believed it could be debris from a failed rocket, while others thought it might be linked to an unidentified flying object. Yet experts remained cautious, especially after Roscosmos disassociated the object from any Russian space activity. To this day, the true origin of the mysterious object remains unsolved, leaving behind one of Siberia's most intriguing unexplained encounters. Speaking of space, there was a day when Russia didn't just find strange objects on the ground but had the sky itself explode. What happened over Chelyabinsk in 2013 left the entire planet stunned. But before we continue, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, just press the notification bell and hit that subscribe button. It means the world. It really supports this channel, and if you do that for me, I promise my team and I will do everything we can to make this show even better for you. Deal? On February 15, 2013, the skies over Chelyabinsk, Russia, lit up as an asteroid exploded in the atmosphere. Thanks to the popularity of dashboard cameras in Russia at the time, the event was fully documented, capturing a streak of light and a blinding flash that shocked the world. The asteroid, about 20 meters wide, entered the atmosphere at 12 miles per second and exploded 19 miles above the ground. The explosion released energy equal to 500 kilotons of TNT, around 30 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. The flash briefly outshone the sun, followed by a shockwave that damaged over 7,000 buildings across 6 cities. About 1,500 people were injured, most after rushing to windows to see the flash, only to be hit by flying glass when the shockwave arrived seconds later. Thankfully, the asteroid exploded high enough to prevent an even greater disaster. Scientists later revealed it had gone undetected, hidden by the sun's glare. In addition, another asteroid was expected to pass close to Earth later that same day. To make matters worse, footage also surfaced of people stranded aboard a ship during the chaos. This event reminded the world how suddenly nature can strike, even without warning. But explosions aren't the only things that have lit up Russian skies. Decades earlier, An event in Petrozavodsk made witnesses question everything they thought they knew about celestial phenomena. On September 20th, 1977, a mysterious celestial event startled residents across the Soviet Union and parts of Europe. The most notable sighting happened in Petrozavodsk, Russia, where at around 4 in the morning, people witnessed a bright object in the sky resembling a massive star. Strangely, it emitted rhythmic beams of light toward the ground. As it moved closer, witnesses described it transforming into a jellyfish-like shape, hovering above the city while releasing thin rays of light, giving the impression of a glowing downpour. After several minutes, the rays disappeared, and the object shifted into a bright semicircle before heading towards Lake Wanda, slowly fading away. The entire display lasted between 10 to 15 minutes. But Petrozavodsk was not alone. Similar sightings were reported from Copenhagen and Helsinki all the way to Vladivostok. In Helsinki, taxi drivers, police officers, and airport staff confirmed observing a glowing orb. The widespread nature of these reports quickly triggered investigations. Authorities initially linked the event to the launch of Cosmos 955, a Soviet satellite launched that day from the Plesetsk Cosmodrome. However, scientists doubted this explanation, as the object's appearance and behavior did not match typical satellite phenomena. Other theories, such as auroras or chemical luminescence, were also discussed but left key details unexplained. Eventually, the mystery led to the establishment of SETCA-AN, a Soviet program focused on researching unexplained atmospheric events. To this day, the true cause of the Petrozavodsk phenomenon remains unresolved. Do you think the Petrozavodsk phenomenon was really just a failed satellite explanation, or was it something much bigger that governments never revealed? Let us know in the comments below. On November 27, 2009, at around 9:34 in the evening, the Nevsky Express was traveling near the town of Bolgoy in Tver Oblast, approximately 320 kilometers or 200 miles from Moscow, when a devastating explosion occurred. A bomb containing about 7 kilograms of TNT detonated beneath the train, causing several carriages to derail. The attack claimed the lives of at least 27 people and injured nearly 96 others. The danger did not end there. The next day, while investigators and emergency responders were working at the scene, a second, smaller explosion took place. This blast injured several officials, including Alexander Bystrykin, head of the investigative committee of the Russian prosecutor's office. Authorities quickly identified the attack as a terrorist act. Responsibility was claimed by the Caucasian Mujahideen, a group linked to several previous incidents in Russia, stating the operation was carried out under the orders of Doku Umarov, a notorious militant leader from the North Caucasus. The incident exposed serious security gaps in Russia's transportation system. In response, Russian authorities prioritized reinforcing safety measures across public transport networks to address ongoing threats from militant groups and prevent similar attacks in the future. But the mysteries didn't stop there. Russia harbors a place so strange that it's often compared to the Bermuda Triangle, a zone where lights, sounds, and even time itself seem to behave strangely. The Molebka Anomalous Zone, often called the M Triangle, is a mysterious area near the village of Molebka in Russia's Perm Krai. Covering about 70 square kilometers, it has attracted attention since the 1980s due to frequent reports of unidentified flying objects, glowing lights, and other unexplained phenomena. Interestingly, the area's mystique goes back to the late 18th century when the indigenous Mansi people considered it sacred, performing rituals at a prayer stone. In the 1980s, interest surged when Emil Bashurin, a geologist from Perm, discovered a near-perfect circular snow formation measuring 62 meters wide during a hunting trip. This finding reignited investigations and drew both scientists and UFO enthusiasts. Since then, witnesses have consistently reported glowing orbs, saucers, and geometric patterns of light hovering, darting, or projecting beams. Many of these lights have been captured on camera. Visitors also describe hearing unexplained sounds such as ghostly whistles, disembodied voices, and electrical humming. Some experience strange physical effects, including euphoria, anxiety, visual distortions, and time lapses. Malfunctioning compasses and electronic devices are often reported as well. Today, the M Triangle attracts researchers and tourists from around the world. A wooden alien monument stands in Molebka as a symbol of its mysterious reputation. Despite decades of interest, scientists have yet to provide a definitive explanation, leaving the phenomenon of Molebka unresolved. On September 27, 1989, the city of Voronezh, in the Soviet Union, witnessed a puzzling event that drew widespread attention. Around 6:30 in the evening, children playing in a park reported seeing a pinkish light in the sky, which soon turned into a deep red sphere about 30 feet wide. The sphere hovered approximately 40 feet above the ground, briefly disappeared, and returned, landing inside the park. Witnesses described a hatch opening and a figure, nearly 10 feet tall, stepping out. The entity wore silver overalls, bronze boots, and had a disc on its chest, with 3 eyes distinguishing its appearance. Beside it stood a smaller, robot-like figure. According to the accounts, the taller being used a device to immobilize a boy, and later caused another, a 16-year-old, to briefly vanish before safely reappearing. The event gained credibility when adults, including a police lieutenant, confirmed sightings. The Soviet news agency TASS reported that scientists identified a landing site marked by a circular depression about 65 feet across, 4 smaller indentations, and 2 unidentified rocks. Some traces of radioactive isotopes were found but were later considered insignificant due to the post-Chernobyl environment. The incident, widely covered in Soviet and international media, sparked debate. While some pointed to natural explanations, others questioned the reliability of the evidence. Yet, despite investigations, the Voronezh encounter remains one of the Soviet era's most detailed and enduring UFO reports. Fast forward to 2019, when Moscow's sky transformed once again, this time with a natural phenomenon so surreal that many mistook it for another extraterrestrial encounter. In 2019, the skies over Moscow lit up with mysterious vertical beams of light, captivating residents and observers. These striking displays, known as light pillars, are rare atmospheric phenomena that occur when artificial or natural light reflects off flat, hexagonal ice crystals suspended in the air. The crystals, acting as tiny mirrors, redirect the light vertically, creating the illusion of glowing columns reaching high into the sky. The conditions in Moscow were ideal for this spectacle. The combination of frigid temperatures, dropping below 15 degrees Celsius, and high humidity allowed ice crystals to form near the ground. Moscow's abundance of artificial lights further intensified the phenomenon, making the pillars vivid and widespread. Residents quickly documented the event, sharing images and videos across social media, which sparked fascination far beyond Russia. Meteorologists clarified that light pillars are entirely natural and result from the interplay of light and atmospheric ice crystals. When these crystals align horizontally during cold and humid conditions, they reflect light upwards, producing the characteristic vertical beams. Although the scene appeared almost otherworldly to many viewers, the explanation behind it is firmly rooted in science, a rare but fully understood optical phenomenon brought to life by the harsh Russian winter. If you saw those mysterious light pillars in the sky one cold night, would you believe it was just ice crystals, or would you think there's more to the story? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and follow the channel to discover more interesting things. In August of 2000, 118 sailors were aboard the Russian nuclear submarine Kursk, an Oscar II-class vessel, during a naval exercise in the Barents Sea. Commissioned in 1994, the submarine suffered a severe incident and sank to the seabed. Unfortunately, none of the crew survived. Although initial fears centered on possible radiation, Russian officials confirmed that Kursk carried no nuclear warheads, eliminating the risk of radioactive contamination. A major rescue effort followed, with Britain and other countries offering help. Yet freezing waters, poor visibility, stormy weather, and delays hampered the mission. Many later questioned if a faster response could have changed the outcome, as the submarine rested at a relatively shallow depth. The official inquiry attributed the disaster to a torpedo malfunction. However, later findings suggested unstable liquid fuel might have caused a second, more powerful explosion, affecting most of the crew instantly, while others awaited rescue as conditions worsened. Over 40 days later, Russian and Norwegian divers recovered some of the crew. The incident sparked public frustration. Families criticized the authorities for poor preparation and slow action. President Vladimir Putin faced sharp scrutiny for delaying his return to Moscow for 9 days, marking his first major crisis as Russia's leader. Just when you thought you've seen it all, Russia was rocked again, not once but twice, by unexplained explosions that left behind massive craters and a mountain of unanswered questions. On April 12, 1991, at about 1:30 in the morning, the town of Sasovo in Russia was jolted by a powerful explosion. A roaring sound shook buildings, shattered windows, and displaced doors. Despite the force of the blast, no fatalities occurred, though several people suffered minor injuries from flying glass. The explosion left a crater about 28 meters wide and 3.5 meters deep, located roughly 1.5 kilometers from the town center. Hours before the blast, residents reported seeing glowing spherical objects emitting bright white light. Some also experienced radio disruptions and noticed unusual animal behavior, with pets showing signs of distress. Just over a year later, on May 28, 1992, another explosion struck, about 9 kilometers from the first site. Although less intense, it created a smaller crater and again caused ground tremors and panic among residents, but no casualties. Several theories emerged. Some suggested ammonium nitrate could have detonated, yet investigators found no chemical residues typical of such an explosion. Others considered a meteorite impact, but no extraterrestrial material was discovered. Another theory proposed sudden releases of subterranean gases triggered by tectonic activity, supported by reports of fireballs and ground deformations. Meanwhile, sightings of glowing spheres fueled speculation about unidentified flying objects. However, no conclusive evidence has ever been found. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen right now. I'm sure you'll love this content. Comment below about the next topic you'd like to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.